It was just a really unique, really captivating story because
It's been a really great experience. It's a lot of fun to work on.
Great experience.
Had a good time.
we fight every day to make it the best film we can.
Camera speed. Hey, Juliet, take 2.
Well, what inspired me in particular to make this film, or to direct this film, was when our writer and director of photography, Robert Toscani, came to me and he said, "I've got a script for you," and it was sort of motivated by the last movie that we had shot. It sort of was reignited by that film. And he came to me and he told me the story. He emailed me the script, and I read it. And afterwards, I decided that this was probably the best script I had read.
You know, anytime you shoot anything, anytime you produce a film or you take a film from concept and take it to an actual production and you create this world where people are coming into, there's a lot of preparation that has to be involved with it.
When it comes right down to it, as a director, I feel it's part of my duty to have a sort of pre-visualization to a lot of the things that I do. I think that storyboarding, drawing the shots that I have in my head for the film before the actual filming process is very important because it saves us time on the shoot, but also it allows us to bring something to the film that we may not see on set. It allows us to plan.
Originally, we were planning on shooting in November, but there was just so much that went into creating this film. The creative juices were flowing and nobody wanted to stop. And we just really wanted to keep developing the story and keep developing the characters and make sure that our director, Grant, had time to work with our actors so that we really got a chance to see who Charlie was and really got a chance to see who Harlin was. And all of these other production elements were coming into place. Things were coming online and we were just on the ball. So we decided we were just going to keep going. And we actually now are pushing ourselves to begin shooting in principal photography starting in April.
A lot of the acting challenges we had for this, especially when casting Charlie, were things like, could he inhabit this character from the way that we had imagined? Because he has a very unique personality to him, and it's not a personality that you come across likely every day. It's a very unique sort of condition that he has, and it's frankly it's hard to really present on screen because we have to find something unique, and we have to find somebody who can portray that as genuinely as possible. Harlin, on the other hand, he's a little easier to cast, but I'm not going to say it is easy. We look for a lot of people who could really give off that sort of intimidating look because he's very, very intimidating himself. So not necessarily the person didn't need to be intimidating, but we needed somebody who could bring a very, very hardened character out of himself and also have a physical demeanor to him that sort of not necessarily scared people, but maybe made them go, "Oh, I don't want to mess with him." So when it came to looking for Harlin, we really just needed somebody who could really portray that aggressive, hardened look, even without saying anything.
Harlin is not a very nice guy. Harlin has a son that he really basically has ignored or has very little knowledge of. He begins to evaluate in this child in terms of his physical condition. Harlan's a very shallow character, and it's not until much later in the film that we see a different side of Harlin.
We knew that the characters that we were casting for, those who inhabited these characters needed to be very invested, and they needed to be the right people. They needed to have a presence visually and audibly that just made sense, cinematically. And then it only took a few more casting sessions to fill out the rest of our roles. I think Jeffrey, who plays our assistant coach, and Jason, who plays our doctor, I think they were cast in the same session. And then Bob, for Sheriff Odell, I think he was a separate session. But the rest of the roles were just sort of filled naturally, which was great.
Sam.
Morning.
Morning, Sam.
Morning.
Why are we here, Sam?
Film. Charlie.
It's amazing to see all these different departments come online. Art department coming online, makeup, wardrobe. Of course, we've got our actors working with our director. Just everything just coming together, and it's just really amazing to watch. So we're really excited to see where we're going to go.
I think one of the biggest issues during production is a challenge that most sets face, and that is the issue of time. We had a lot of shots. We shot over the course of 4 days, and we needed to find a way to strategically fit all that into a shooting schedule that we could handle. And Daniel, our first AD, was very on top of things, and he was also a great guy. He was somebody that I could go to for help during the production, and he's somebody that I have a very close working relationship with because he keeps me on schedule.
Yeah, no, I'm first ADing this thing when I don't show up an hour late. So, yeah, other than that, making sure it runs on time.
He's doing a great job.
Whatever.
Our first day of shooting, we were running out of daylight, and it rained for the majority of the day, and then the sun came out. So challenges that we had to face on day one was making sure that we could get enough light to match shots from.
And there were a lot of times where we had to cut shots, and a lot of times where, during our lunch breaks, we'd sit off to the side, go down the shot list, see what we needed, see what was necessary, maybe try to combine shots into one. And through the input of Rob as well, since he was also our cinematographer, we were able to solve those issues very creatively, and it forces you to think on your toes. It forces you to work sort of improv, and a lot of magic can actually happen when you're doing that. So time was probably our biggest challenge. Even though we did succeed in getting most of the shots we wanted, we did have to compress, and there were times where we had to settle for a little bit less and maybe cut a shot. And that's just the nature of any set. As a director, that's something you have to take into consideration. You have to be able to manage your time wisely. And as a very young director, that's something that I actually faced with a great deal of enthusiasm, because it was an opportunity for me to test myself, to test my limits, and to see how efficiently I could direct under that kind of pressure. And granted, there was quite a bit of pressure, considering it was my first truly independent short film, and the longest short film that I had directed so far. But I was prepared for all of that. I looked at this as a creative struggle that I could embrace, that I could learn from. The only way you get better at directing is by directing.
How are you? Before we start shooting today, could you please explain what camera we are using?
Well, this right here is Canon Red Epic. No, wait.
What is this one, Connor? This is that Nikon GH2.
Yeah.
This Sony.
Panavision, I thought. Yes, this is a Panavision.
This isn't the
Panavision
GoPro?
Genesis.
Not a GoPro.
It's the new.
This is not a
This is the
GoPro?
new GoPro.
Is it?
This is the Hero 4. It's a little bigger than the old one.
Yeah, they went lightweight with the 3, they went heavy duty with the 4. So
Can you tell me why we're here, sir?
I think we're shooting a movie, aren't we? We're shooting a movie.
Welcome to the set of Charlie. We're shooting today some football scenes. So got some really talented folks out here helping us out, really talented crew. It's very appreciative of all the folks that we've got involved and all the support we've gotten so far. And yeah, I think you guys are going to be in for a really, really, really nice treat when you watch the film. So yeah, so welcome to the set.
We actually have a lot of very talented extras coming in today to help us out, and obviously our main characters as well. They've been doing great.
Sometimes scenes would take longer than others to complete. We may have to roll on a few more takes depending on our constraints or scenarios. Maybe we're not getting the performance we desire, and we had the time to fulfill a few more takes, which is great, because something that I always encourage with the actors I work with is their honesty as actors, and especially as characters. Sometimes Jim would come up to me and he'd say, "Grant, what if Harlan reacted a little differently here to Charlie? Or I don't think he would react this way. Let's try it this way." And it's great because sometimes it completely changes the scene, and for the better. John would do the same thing. He would come up to me and say, "Grant, what if Charlie maybe gave a little tug at his ear when Harlan delivers his line there?" Little things like that. And it's those little moments that really make the beats and the magic happen within a scene between characters. So it's wonderful to work with actors who are so open about their characters. And once we accomplish a scene, we just move on and we repeat.
So we were out here, and when I put the pads on, I put the helmet on. All I pictured was high school, Little League, when I was a superstar. And I was like, you know what? Now I have something to remember it. I got this film. I can come out here and be a star and talk down to people and be a leader, but know that I'm better.
I have an idea. Can you throw a football over the mountains?
I can throw a football and hit those hawks right now. I'll land it in the nest and not break an egg.
You want to say anything? I already talked to you.
Yeah, you already talked to me, man.
There's so
Ask
many.
how the up-downs were.
How are the up-downs?
Up-down sucked. I haven't done it in probably 10 years.
Can you show us what an up-down is?
No.
Come on.
Hi everyone, welcome to the set. This is actually our last day of production. I'm pretty excited to see, the final outcome of it. We have a lot of very talented people out here today.
Quit smiling. Wipe that smile off your face.
And it's always very challenging, but it's always very exciting, and that's really the entire process, or at least the physical process behind directing. So it's always a lot of fun, And if you're if you're not having fun, then you shouldn't be doing it.
But one day I thought I'd settle down. I met up a big lady, said she'd be.
I'm James Nolan, boom operator and sound effects recordist.
Could you tell us where you're from, James?
I'm from Dublin, Ireland.
It's something different. I'm 60 goddamn years old. I don't have time for you to try something different. I expect perfection and nothing short of it. Do you understand?
Today is our last day of shooting after a long, fun run. Finally getting to where we need to be. Everything looks good. Shots are in the can. I just have to say I've been very privileged to be around such a wonderful cast, such a wonderful crew. Everyone's really worked very hard in order to make this picture. And we really hope that audiences see this and that they're able to take away from it something of value. I think it's great entertainment, and it's a nice message in there too. So, signing off from the set, that's a wrap.
To Rob, I love you. You're the most beautiful man in the world, but that's a wrap.
That's a wrap. Thankfully, it's getting heavy. Thanks, Dave.
That's a wrap. That's a wrap. That's a wrap. Dan, I want to punch you in the mouth right now.
That's a wrap.
And you, sir, would you like to say that's a wrap?
I want to blow my whistle, tell them to keep at it, but no, that's a wrap.
That's a
That's a wrap.
That's a wrap.
That's a wrap.
The final product's going to be something really good, and I think a lot of people will enjoy it, so that's a wrap.
That's a wrap.
You gotta say that's a wrap.
That's a wrap.
So yeah, I guess stay tuned, and we'll keep you updated. And yeah. All right, bye. That's a wrap.